Well, in just a few hours' time, Tiger Woods makes his first public appearance since his life melted down in a sex scandal. He's going to issue an apology in a tightly controlled event at PGA Tour headquarters in Florida with no questions asked. Two of the biggest, though, will Woods announce a comeback on the golf tour, and will his estranged wife, Elin, be at his side? Joining us now from Orlando is Steve Helling. He's a People magazine writer and author of a soon-to-be-published book on Tiger Woods. And with us here in the studio, Ron Tarosian. He's a public relations expert and head of the firm 5WPR. Steve, let's start with you because you're down there in Orlando. There's a chance that you may actually get inside this thing, particularly, I guess, with 3 spots being given up by the Golf Writers Association. You've interviewed Tiger several times. What are you expecting him to say today?
Well, I don't expect him to say very much, to be quite honest. I expect him to kind of give us a nebulous apology saying he's sorry for his transgressions, but I would be really surprised if he enumerates what those are. And then when he makes his announcement about what he's going to do in the future, it's all going to probably be about his professional life, not his personal life. We'll learn very little about his marriage with Elin, and we'll learn a lot more about what his plans with golf are.
So, Ron, when you look at this event, again, very tightly controlled, there's only 1 camera being allowed in, a handful of hand-picked reporters. Again, 3 members of the Golf Writers Association of America are boycotting this event. Does this sound like it's going to go well, or could it potentially backfire because of the level of control?
I think that where the Tiger Woods brand is, it can't get much worse. Headlines in the newspapers in New York are talking about locking up your waitresses and bimbo alert. All of this from a minor traffic accident. I think that this is the start of the comeback of the Tiger Woods brand. I think we saw that begin a few days ago with the release of that picture of him jogging. And I think we'll see interviews start to come in the next few weeks, one-on-one, also tightly controlled, as we see a start of the comeback of the Tiger Woods brand.
Steve, it's been 2.5 months since we've seen Tiger Woods in public. There have been some carefully released images. There's one that we saw right there of him jogging, another one with a golf club in his hand. Why do you think that he's waited this long to come out in public?
Well, that's a very good question, and I would like to know the same thing. I think if he had come out, say, in December, we wouldn't be talking right now. Everything would have blown over. I think it was a big mistake on a PR standpoint to keep him private so long, but he was getting things taken care of. We now know that, yes, he was in some sort of rehab, and that rehab will continue after the statement today. So maybe he had some personal things he needed to take care of.
And what do you make of the timing of this as well, Steve? It's right in the middle of the golf tournament that's sponsored by Accenture, which, of course, is the firm that famously was the first one to dump Tiger Woods, saying that he's not the type of spokesman that we would want to have. Ernie Els, who's participating in that tournament, was highly critical of Tiger Woods, saying that it seems selfish for him to do it.
Well, it does. On the surface, it really does seem selfish, and I can understand why Ernie Els was so upset. But also, we have to remember that he is taking a week off from his rehab right now, and this is the week. So this is really the last day he can do it. He won't be available to make a statement and to do that type of thing on Monday. It's only today that he can do it.
Ron, if America loves anything, it's a comeback story. Is this the beginning of Tiger's comeback story?
I don't think we'll ever see Tiger Woods come back to being the poster boy that he was. I think that Tiger Woods will get increasingly more popular from where he is, but he's at a very, very low point. I think that this is a big scandal and not something that he's going to return to where he was.
So you think he's forever tainted?
I think the Tiger Woods brand is forever tainted. This is 12 women at least, perhaps more. And it's been 3 months since this incident occurred. It's been 3 months of headlines, 3 months of stories. This story will not be forgotten anytime soon.
Steve, saw an ABC News poll this morning. 65% of people who were asked say that Tiger Woods should come back to golf this year. About 20% said that he should wait a little while longer. What do you think he will do in terms of his return to the tour? That there's some speculation out there that he might be back in time for the Masters.
I think he will come back, and I think he'll come back sooner than a lot of people think, just because that's what he does. He's a golfer, and, you know, it's hard for him not to golf. He does it every day of his life. So I think there's a deep longing in his mind and in his heart to come back to golf, and it all depends on what his negotiations with Elin are right now. If the marriage is over, as indicated by the absence of wedding rings and that type of thing, maybe he'll come back right away. But if he stays in rehab for a little bit longer, we may see him skip the Masters, but he will be back in 2010. There's no question.
Ron, I assume that the PGA Tour would like him back. I mean, he's big money in so many different ways.
I think when he returns, we're going to see an increase in ratings in the short term. How many non-golf fans are going to tune in and say, wow, what is he wearing? What is he doing? Are people heckling him? I think we're going to see something much different, at least for the first few weeks. And in that sense, it might help golf in the very short term. In the long term, how many golfers can Americans really name? How many golfers can the non-golf fan name? Tiger Woods is one of the few, and he's broken a lot of boundaries. He's broken racial boundaries. He's broken a lot of boundaries, and that's, why this story is in fact so big, because Tiger Woods is not a golfer. He's a celebrity.
And obviously, this is speculation, Steve, but how do you think his game is going to be? Because 90% of the game of golf is played between here, and there have been so many golfers over the years who have gone through personal problems whose games have completely fallen apart.
Well, over the years, one thing I would say about Tiger Woods is that he knows how to focus and get other things out of his mind. When Earl Woods died, Tiger came back with a vengeance. He put that out of his mind, and he did his job. He played golf. So I think he'll actually do quite well. There might be a little bit of jitters at first. I don't expect him necessarily to win his first tournament, but I do think that we will see his legendary focus come into play.
And when will you hear if you actually get to go inside, Steve?
At 9 a.m. this morning. Fingers crossed.
Well, good luck, and maybe we'll check back in with you after that. Thanks so much. Steve Helling from People Magazine, Ron Tarosi, and good to talk to you this morning. Thanks.
Thank you.
Sarah?